and welcome back to the second part of the Student Database Management System. I'm going to close this, and the next thing we want to do is to create the back end, and this is meant to be the name of the back end, so I might as well just copy that very name, enable this now, get rid of that, and let's go to file. Let's make sure this is saved. Now let's open up a new file, and this very file that I've just opened, I'm going to save it as, so that will be saved as student database, and I will call it underscore backend. Let's make that end an uppercase, right? So I'm going to save that now. There we go. Alright, that's my back end. So the first thing I'd like to do is to import SqLite 3, and maybe let's enter comment here. Let's call this back end. Now I'm going to define the following function: student data. Just going to comment that, enter column, and copy this to end it with here. There we go. Right, now the first function is for me to connect to my SqLite 3.connect. And where do you want to connect to? I want to connect to student. That's going to be the name of my system, .db. Right, that's my database there. Just giving it a name. It's not on the file yet. This is the file. As you can see, I have front end and back end. Okay, now the next thing I would like to do is let's say current.execute. And what do I want? I would like it to create as follows: using the SQL command, create a table. If there is nothing there, if nothing exists, that should be it. If nothing exists, create a table called student. Right, and this table will also have an ID number that is going to be an integer as the primary key. Let's put a key there. Let's extend this so that you guys can see what I'm about to do. So the first one is going to be, the first column is going to be student ID, comma, followed by, this student ID is going to be, the data type will be text, followed by first name, and the data type for this first name is going to be text as well. Enter another comma. Then the next one, I'm going to call that surname. The data type will be text. Now let's go for date of birth, DOB. There. We'll put a backslash there so that I can continue. Then the next one, let me go for age, paste. Then what about gender of the student? Paste. Address of this very student, paste the data type, and finally the mobile number of my student. There we go. And there, close that and close that. So those are the columns I expect to be on the table student. Now the next thing is I would like it to comment the development, and we then close it. Connect.close. There. That is my very first function. Now to make life easy, this very first function, I would like to create another function that will display the data that I've just created, and that I'm going to call that add student record, and in there I want as follows. In the parentheses, I want all of this information, everything in here, paste them there, and get rid of the data type. Small data type to go here, right, and one more here, there. Okay, what else do we need to do? Now I'm going to ask SQL to connect. So let's copy that, paste that here. SQL connect to this very database. Okay, and what else do we want you to do? I need a cursor. Current equals connect dot cursor. There, and I want you to now execute. Okay, carry out an execution of the following, which means add the following. And what I want you to do is to insert into the student database whatever value. Okay, and let's say if there is known value, that one will become my primary key, and the rest are question mark that we will then follow for whatever data we have. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. Close that, comma, and I need the name of my database. Okay, so let's get all of this. I'm going to copy it all and just paste it here. There we go. And let's close it. Right. Now the next thing we want to do is let's ask it to carry out this operation and close. There, copy, paste. There. That is that taken care of. Now, one more thing. Let's view this very data. How are we going to view it? So to view this very data, I'm going to copy all of these. Now let's change this first. Let's say view data, and we just copy this, paste it in there, and carry out 1 or 2 changes. So for the execution, that would be select from. Okay, let's say select from student. Okay, select all from student and get rid of every single content in here. Right, select from student so that we can view it. Now let it be in a row, equals dot fetch all. There we go. And I'm going to close it because I'm only displaying something. I'm not doing a comments or anything. Then I can say row return or return rows. Right, that is that taken care of. One other thing I'd like to take care of now. Let me take care of my delete record. So I'm going to copy all of this again and just change it around, paste. And as for the delete record, I want cursor, I want this to delete, so change this to delete. Right, so it's going to be delete from student delete from student where. So let's say where ID equals, let's say question mark there, and make sure you enter a comma, and let's specify the ID, comma there, and this wrong spelling of select, get rid of that. Yeah, that is that taken care of. Then what about we need it to actually carry out the operation, so copy this, that is where the comments come in, and paste it right there, and we also close it there. Okay, two other more functions in the back end. There they are, the search function and the update function right here. Okay, have a good look at those two functions. Okay, but this back end, nothing will happen if I do not call all of these functions on the front end. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. Let's move it aside so that you guys can see what I'm calling. Right. Okay, the first function that I'm going to call, let's enter our function here. Paste, and let's just change this to function. Right there. And the very first one that we're going to call, maybe we should call it, we can just call the exit function. Let's call the exit function first. We're going to call that dim iExit. iExit itself equals tick enter dot message box dot, that will be ask yes or no, and what we will say is the name of my system will be student database. So let me enter that in there, copy all of that and paste it right here, comma, and my message to the end user is confirm if you want to exit or not. There we go. Now close that. Let's use an if statement to validate the selection made. If iExit greater than 0, then root dot destroy, that means exit, and return. There we go. That is my exit taken care of. Now you see this very exit, I'm going to call exits within my button here. So let's scroll right down and look for button exit. That is it right here. I'm going to put a comma there and enter command equals iExit. So that is taken care of. Okay, that's fine. I would like to try it out now, but if I try it out, there will be an error. Okay, one of the errors is, you can see the name of my backend is called std database underscore backend, which I don't have here. I don't have underscore backend right here. Let's make sure the spelling is correct. Right, that is correct. And my exit function. Okay, all right, if we run it now, let's see if that's gonna work. There, click on exit. No, we do not want to exit. Yes, we do want to exit. So exit is out of the way. Now we haven't done anything here yet. Let me take care of another very easy one. This other one is going to be function clear data. Okay, for function clear data, I want to clear as follows: self dot txt, that will be student ID dot that will be delete. And what am I deleting? That's going to be 0 and clear everything. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other 7 columns. Now, right, so let's change the name around. This is first name, sorry. This is surname. All right, that is the clear taken care of. Okay, let's copy this function and add it to the button clear itself. Okay, all of these names that I've called are the names of all of these widgets. Okay, have a good look at them, and they are variables as well. Right down. Okay, let's add the clear to the right here. Enter a comma, command equals clear, just like we did for the exit. So let's run it and see. There we go. Add whatever data you want in there. Click on clear there, so the clear works fine. Now let's go back in there. Now let's take care of some very important data. The very first one that I'll take care of now will be the delete, the add. So come right down here, function, I'm going to call that add data. There, function add data. So let's say if len, so len actually counts the data that we have. Oh no, that would be student ID dot get, so parenthesis and not equals 0. Okay, if whatever you count is not equal 0, then we want the student database. The student database is now called, this is the name now, so I'm going to copy all of this. Student database underscore backend, copy that. Seems to be too long, but it's alright. Equals student ID, the names and so on. So I'm going to copy this. So let's come in here and just copy all of those. Copy and minimize it now. So the student ID dot get. So let's just add dot get, add parentheses across for the others as well. Right, speed dot get right there. One more, and the last one, maybe we should just break it. Add that here. Okay, so we have all of that in place, but what we want to do now is the student list. We want it to add it onto the student list. This is the student list there. So for the student list, let's clear whatever we have on the student list first. So come right down here, press enter, and we'll say whatever we have on the student list, let's get rid of that. Get rid of it. And the same student list we want you to insert as follows. Press enter, then insert right at the end, comma, the following information. So I'm going to copy all of this and paste it right here, there. So we have to close that bracket. Okay, that is the add. But have we make sure we call here? We were supposed to call this very database or this very function. That will be dot add student record, and the student record that I'm calling, this is it right here, this very one. I've just called it right here. Okay, all right, now that that is taken care of, let's have a go at taking care of display. Function display data. In the case of the display data, it's just going to be the student list. Okay, first of all, delete whatever we have in there and then display whatever new record that we have. Okay, now let's use a for loop for row in student underscore backend dot view data, this very one. Copy that and paste that here, add parentheses. Okay, so we now want the student list to insert whatever we have on the row. Insert as follows, and let's put a row there, comma, let's add a space, or you can enter carriage return, the choice is yours. There, that's the display. So these two functions that I've just created, I'm going to now call them on the button. So copy that, scroll right down, let's go to add, there we go, that's the add, put a comma there, command equals, call that, and the other one is display. I think it's called display data anyway. So let's just say command equals display data, and paste that in there. Let's hope I'm right, it's called display data. Yep, it's called display data. Okay, I've called those two. Now the other one that I would like to call will be, let's call delete. So we say delete data. There we go. Get it indented properly. That's fine. Take it up so that you can see it. In the case of that, I'm going to copy this and yeah, copy all of that. Come right down there, paste, and then we want to call the database itself. That is the database itself. I'm going to copy all of that, paste it here, and it's going to be delete record. Okay, so I'm going to have my, let's say SD. The SD is actually a global variable. Okay, maybe I should declare that global variable first somewhere. Let's say function student record and that is going to be main, and that very global variable will be right inside here. So I'm just going to call it SD. Okay, that is where I'll carry out most of the search. Right, no, wrong spelling. A missing there. Search student equals is on the list box. Okay, dot, let's say current selection. For my current selection, SD equals students list, and this student list I'm going to have to call it as well inside the widget itself, equals search. Yeah, there. Alright, so let me copy all of these, then we take care of that later on, and paste this underneath here. Okay, but we then need to say to insert as follows. Come in here, the first insertion will be, that would be for my, yeah, let's say insert and comma SD, that is 1. There we go. So I'm going to repeat the same for the rest. Copy that, just paste this here and just copy the rest across. Alright, so if that's for student, then this will be for first name, surname, date of birth. Right, so I'm going to speed that up. Okay, that's all done. We just need to change the number. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, that's all done. Now let's complete the delete. In the case of the delete, I've called the database. Okay, now I actually need to clear as well. Let's just call function clear, and I also need to call function display as well. So that is delete taken care of. So I'm now going to call, no, I need to call function display data. Display data. Now we need to now call this very function on the button. Scroll right down, delete right here. So let's say comma equals delete. So delete is taken care of. We now need the search and update. So I'm going to have to speed those two up. Okay, and right here, guys, those are the lines of code for this search. Okay, and maybe we should break this apart so that you guys can see it there. Let's repeat the same thing here and here as well. Right, update, there we go. Have a good look at those lines of codes. And one other thing, you can see this student record. I've actually called that as well. I've called that inside the list box. So let's come right down. I'm going very slow with it so that you guys can see what I'm about to show you. Okay, here, these are the frames, and here are the labels, and the text entering widget is called Okay, now take it down, and right here, that is where I have called the student record. Okay, when I click on view, all of the information on the student record will be displayed on each of the entry widget. And right down here inside the buttons, that's where I've called the search. That's it right there. And the same thing was repeated for the update. Okay, let's try out this system now. Okay. So I'm going to take it up gradually so that you guys see all of the codes. But for those of you who are members of my channel, just let me know if you need the codes. Only if you are members of the channel. So for you to be a member, all you need to do is to pay £4.90, £4.99p, and you'll be an executive member. There we go. So we will now run this program. This is the front end. Okay, that's the front end. But just before I run it, let me show you the back end again. Minimize that, and this here is the back end. This is the back end. You're going to need both files. Okay, take it down and down. Okay, break these apart so that you can see the rest of the codes. That's the back end. I have to save whatever I've done. Let's save it. Right. And let's make sure this is saved as well before I run it. File, save, run. There we go, guys. So student details. Name of student. Let's call the student Johnny. Johnny Lagos. Date of birth of Johnny Lagos. Let's say 01 2000. How old is Johnny? Johnny is about 18 going to 19. Male. Address of Johnny. I'm going to say 1 Ikeja. Mobile number of Johnny. Okay, add Johnny information there. There we go. Display Johnny information. Alright, let's add more details. So I'm just going to speed that up. Add whatever in there, and let's say that is Julie. And Julie is Julie Oshodi. Date of birth of Julie 12/1 maybe 4. How old is Julie? About 18 as well, female. And Julie lives in 16, let's say Echo Road, something like that. There we go. That's Julie's number. Add, display Julie's information. Okay, I'm going to display Julie's information again, and let's see if we can delete the second one. Delete. Right, yes we can. And look at this. Can we modify? That's in uppercase there. And update, modification. That's the update. Display all of the information. The update is there. Oh, that's beautiful. It's working. Alright, let's add more details. Yeah, so let's add the information. Okay, let's add this information of Echo and Ewu. You may not believe it, actually. There's information that we have the Vatican City in this area, in Ewu, in Nigeria. Vatican City. I was very impressed when I hear that that's where they train all the priests. So in Ewu, Asia. So let's say hello to my people out there. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do now is just to show you how this works. Look at this search engine. Let's clear it and let's search for other in AWU. Listen, let's see, can we search for her? Yes we can, and we have a lot of information about this pretty girl from Asia, Nigeria, AWU in Edo State. So guys, with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. For you to be a member of this channel, all you need to do is to pay £4.99 and you'll be a member of this channel, and you can always put in a request for the lines of codes. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. Bye for now, and you all have a nice day. Bye.